evening and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the Undeniable Vixen, your host. We have an incredible guest this evening, but let's go ahead and get into some beer news. So just, I guess this is kind of start off. Today is World Lupus Day, and I am a lupus person, and I have some friends out there. Happy to my lupies as well. Usually you wear purple, which I did. I did wear purple today, and I have on gym shorts. Still have on my purple or whatever. But if you don't know, lupus is an autoimmune disease, and I got it honest. From my mother, who has sarcoidosis, which is the same illness that Bernie Mac had. So it can affect your organs, it can affect your body. It does all kinds of funky stuff. Hers goes dormant for like 10 to 15 years or so, and then it'll creep back up and she'll be just like out of it. It's real strange. So sarcoidosis is the mother and lupus is the child. So that's why I say I got it honest. I got it hereditarily. And it usually has been kind of dormant for me, but it's springing back up for whatever reason here lately. So just want to shout out to everyone who has lupus, people that are their caregivers, as well as people that help out with people that have lupus, because it is an never-ending situation. It's like snowflakes. Everyone who has it in a different variation, so it's very strange. But just shout out to World Lupus Day. So wanted to give that out the way. So let's start with some news too. So friend of the show, Harlem Brewing, they're having a beers and cheers. If you are in North Carolina, this coming Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30, they're having a the Patsy Young historic ale is going to be available. Probably some other heavy hitters with Harlem Brewing, and a Sugar Hill Golden Ale as well, the 25th anniversary. So if you're in the North Carolina area, please go and check out Harlem Brew South. Then we have Black Excellence Expo 2 coming June 20th. So we're getting a lot of different updated Juneteenth information that's coming up. So this one is with Esoteric Brewing Company. They have some vendors already secured, but they're wanting more vendors. They have guest speakers as well as activities available, some networking going on, group projects, and vendors. If you go to Esoteric Brewing and click their link, they have a link in their bio to get more information if you're wanting to be a part of the festivities. And that's over in Cincinnati, Ohio. Then I saw this and I was like, this is amazing. Violet's Paradise, a wine dinner. So let me get some information here. So join us for a great evening of wine, great food, and great company. I'm so excited to partner with Chef Aaron Bachon, Bachoon, and his team to see Violet's Paradise through his culinary lens. So join us at Blue Rock Inn and Restaurant through a thoughtfully curated evening of collaboration with Bryn Royal, founder of Violet's Paradise Wines, set against the backdrop of the Blue Ridge Mountains. There's limited seating and will feature a 4-course seasonal menu that will be paired with Violet's Paradise. Throughout the evening, they will have a guide you through each pairing along with the courses and see how her process is and her inspiration behind the work of wine. This experience is designed for both the elegant and engaging and a seamless progression of flavor, storytelling, and the setting. So this is going to be Friday, May 22nd. If you go to Violet's Paradise, click click in her bio, she has the information for the link. So because the tickets are 175, and that's it's very limited. So this is going to be very, very niche and very eclectic kind of wine pairing. And I love this collaboration. It seems like really a really amazing kind of thing that's going on there. So if you're near the Blue Ridge Mountains, I would suggest you get a ticket and enjoy yourself. It's going to be an amazing event. So then we also have Black Excellence. Black Eden 1912, friend of the show. Atlanta, we're coming your way. Black Eden 1912 will soon be available at your bar or a store near you. And they'll be in town connecting with retailers, restaurants, and people who appreciate good spirits and even better stories. If you, it was like, come out and say hi. So be on the look out for Black Eden 1912 in Atlanta. So I know that they were making strides trying to get more distribution out. So they're plugging along and getting that out there. So DM them, he said. We would love to meet and greet y'all. So, and then also with this, I believe this is a new publication that the bottle is on that's featured right there. The Black Eden Journal, where culture, history, entertainment, and the spirit behind the brand all come together. So click the link with Black Eden 1912 to get more information on that. And then also, friend of the show, if I know I've been talking about it quite a lot, but it's still, I think, just an amazing event. The Clink Festival, and like scrolling, minding my business, loving Jesus like I do. I saw this post and I wanted to give you a little excerpt of why they created Clink and Sip Festival. So this was created to do things differently. Too often, BIPOC wine and spirit makers are locked out of opportunities because of the expensive vendor fees and limited access. So we created a space where makers could simply show up, show out, and be seen. That's why the festival matters. That's why the impact is real. This is bigger than an event. It's about community, culture, and creative opportunities that should already exist. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, get your ticket September 20th in Chicago, like one of the food capitals of the world. This is going to be an amazing event. She always does an amazing job. And I am always floored about seeing all this Black excellence in this one room of wine, spirits, and food. And she was like, you're not going to go hungry. You're going to get your drink filled and taste an amazing different plethoras of everything across the board from wine and spirits. So check it out. Check out Clink Fest, and see you out there September 20th. Then Jen and her team of Crafted for Action, they have the Crafted Award ceremony. The nominees are just opening up, starting back, I guess, last week, May 8th, it just started. And the nominees are where you can go ahead and vote between May 8th through the 22nd. And they'll be announced during the Craft for Action weekend. So if you go to Crafted for Action, you'll see the different nominees and who and where they are as far as like who to vote for. And put your money where your mouth is. Put your, strike your flag to whoever you think should be should win that top award. So that's really great. I think, as I said, Crafted for Action, it keeps on evolving, and this Crafted Awards is really another layer of giving back to the community through community services and people that have really been an anchor in the craft community, and they're trying to give back and say, hey, we see you. We see that, that you're helping in the craft arena, and we want to celebrate you. So I think that's really awesome. Then also, again, in the Atlanta area, if you are in Atlanta and you're at Camp Creek, you can meet two of the founders, I think there's four, but two of the founders of Sable whiskey, or I'm sorry, bourbon. You can see Morris Chestnut and Michael D. Lee. Get a bottle sign. I still got my bottle from when they came to Texas. And it's pretty decent. It's producer liquid. So go ahead and I will say get there early, 2 to 4. So I say be there at 12. So you'll be in line, so you don't have to wait that long. So get your bottle and go on about your business and get a picture with the fellas. So then we have another really big weekend thing that's going on at Black Eyed Susan's kickoff. And where's my notes here? It is at Hennessy Creek. Now this is over in Brandywine, Maryland. So what they're doing is they're having a pre-race vibe. So join us at Hennessy Creek Farm Brewery for the Black Eyed Susan weekend kickoff. We're setting the stage for an unforgettable evening where luxury meets salon. So the first hour of their specials is they're saying arrive early. They're going to have some craft beer sampling. And this is a new addition to this area for Hennessy Creek. This is new as far as I'm getting into the craft beer portion of it, which I'm very excited about. The vibe is sultry, urban, contemporary jazz with Merlin Divine to stimulate your senses while you soak into the atmosphere of the beer gardens. And then they're going to have hors d'oeuvres by executive chef and owner Kim Akers Thomas of Haywood Private Chef and Catering. And what you should expect is live race viewing, signature beer tasting, and premium mobile cigar vendor. Yes, click. I like that. Elite networking and good people. And that is at Hennessy Creek Farm Brewery. And if you've never seen the layout of Hennessy Creek, it is massive. It is a massive property that is like you can get lost on that property, but it has an intimacy, but you don't feel like you're crowded by everybody. I really like the way that it looks. So, and that's in Brandywine, Maryland. And this event is going to be this coming Friday, May 15th from 4 to 9 p.m. Then we have Black Girl Magic, which where's my notes here? This is talking about the McBride sisters. And where's my note? The McBride sisters are coming to Detroit, and this is new for them. I guess kicking into the market for Detroit. And if you don't know the story, the McBride sisters is a story like no other. So one can say that the path to sisterhood was an ultimate changing the face of wine industry, was a destiny at work. The sisters, Robin and Adrian McBride, were raised, one was in California, one was in New Zealand, and not knowing anything about the other. But their paths, as far as being so ingrained in the wine industry and learning about wine, was just kind of kismet. And so when they finally did meet and they were able to niche hone in their talents to give the McBride sisters and give like the Black Girl Magic, the McBride, which is a label that I really love. And now it's going to be available in Detroit. So, and available like places like the Block in Detroit, Liquor Basket, and Park Place Wine Shop. So if you're in the Detroit area, you can grab you a bottle of Black Girl Magic or the McBride Sisters label. And then if you are in New York, LMAX, they're having a little collaboration with Brooklyn Brewery, which you can't see, I'm sorry, but Run, Walk, Pour, Sunday after the run. So on May 17th, between 1 and 4, they're going to do a run, and they're probably going to do some sampling of the LMAX and a little bit of Brooklyn beer. Be there. So that's going to be fun. And that's all the news that I have. right. So let me go ahead and introduce my guest. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. How are you, Tiffany?
Good evening. I am doing very well. Very glad
Awesome.
to be here and appreciative for you having me on the show today.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, believe me. So we're just gonna have a quick chat. I just want to learn more about you, more about your brand, and how you're navigating in the world here. So let me find out just a little bit about you personally. So you are a native of Chicago, correct?
Absolutely. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
Okay, okay, okay. That's so you were saying, like, I was talking about Chicago being like the food capital. Do you agree?
Absolutely. 100%. Very hard to beat. I travel a lot, but yeah, we are definitely top tier when it comes to food.
And I did not know that. I went there. I've gone to Chicago a couple of times, but the last time that I went was when they had the Prince exhibit.
Uh-huh.
I came and we had some food down there. I was just really,
Good.
really like, it was really, really great. Okay, so you're born and raised in Chicago. Um, Let me see. So, talking about your brand, tell me how you came across maybe the first time that you've ever had a wine. When did you first get introduced to wine? And you're like, you know what, I like this.
I would say around 2012. Um, I traveled to Canada. Just me and my husband wanted to get away, and we had never gone to Canada before, Niagara to be exact.
Mhm.
And I did a wine tour there, Niagara on the Lake. And that was my first real exposure to vineyards and wineries and tasting rooms. And I was so intrigued by it, just sampling the different wines. And they're very well known for ice wine, which is extremely sweet. And I was in love with that. I thought I was really doing something then. I was like, oh, okay, this is exciting. Just learning about the different regions, the varietals and the bottles just became like such a like intriguing experience for me. And so from then forward, every time I travel, I would incorporate a vineyard or a tasting room in my travels wherever I went.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. So ice wine, yeah. That
I
that
can't I can't drink it now. Not even a sip.
I was like, whoo, that is sweet.
Oh yeah.
So when you described yourself as a grape that grew from concrete, how did growing up in the South Side of Chicago shape the way you approach your business and your resilience and the luxury of the House of Harvey?
Yeah, so growing up, I grew up on the low end of Chicago in the Bronzeville area, and not a lot of exposure to different cultured things as I was growing up. And so I was always raised, it is not where you live, it is how you live. And so
Mhm.
my grandmother and my mother did their very best at exposing me to different things outside of my environment. And so not only did I have that sense of knowing what it is like to have limited access to things, but also knowing that if I work hard and if I actually put my mind to things, I can absolutely achieve that. And
Mhm.
so that is always how I've carried myself throughout life. So no matter where I came from, I've always wanted to have a different feel of what it would be to have a different sense of culture and a different experience of what luxury to me would feel like. And I've always said that it is not a price, it is an experience. And so with my business, I always want people to feel like they are just having a moment of luxury. And I
Mhm.
give them that through the tasting that I provide, through the branding. I want people to visually see something that's eye catching. and I wanted it to be very appealing. So not only am I capturing them visually, but also with the senses of sight and as well as taste. I feel like when they get that tasting experience, it's all of my pleasure to describe the varietal that they're tasting and maybe some tasting notes that they would have. Definitely capturing an audience that is very familiar to me because of where my background lies. And so I wanted to bring that experience to that captivating audience.
Okay. So it's been helpful for you as far as uh, people that are maybe not necessarily wine drinkers to be approachable.
Yes.
And so the branding is helpful. What and of course the liquid is very helpful. I'm sure, being delicious. What would you say would be something that you've had to get your consumers to overcome with maybe their mindset as far as being approaching wine? So no, you don't have to think. You don't have to think like that. It's not like that. It's easier.
Absolutely. So first, I'll say that I have a sparkling wine, Prosecco style, and then I have a Pinot Grigio. And so with the Pinot Grigio, it is a stainless steel tank method, very crisp and clear. For both varietals, I use a custom crush process. So I get the grape varietal shipped in, and I'm able to do the blending here in the US. And so a lot of people, when they come to tasting, it's like, what do you have sweet? I was like, well, neither
Mhm.
are sweet. Neither are sweet, but they're both very refreshing. And I do want to introduce your palate to something different. I always guide them to say you're at a tasting, so you might want to try something that you would not or ordinarily just go and buy in the store. And so I
Yes.
always approach them with that, and then just explaining how I do the custom crush process and how I thought about our palate when I was blending. The Pinot Grigio that I produce is not your typical Pinot. It is not extremely dry on the back end. It is very crisp and clean, and it is so refreshing that you get like a very robust Granny Smith apple note. And I
Mhm.
think often people forget that it's not a lot of sugar in it. And they're often surprised, like, oh, this is good, but it's not sweet. And I love that. I love to introduce people to that experience.
I definitely concur. Definitely concur. I am a brand ambassador, and when I was doing wine, that would be one of the things. The challenges
Yeah,
as far as getting people to taste because they want something just sweet, and that's not always the case that I have. But yeah, that's a great approach to say, hey, since you're at a taste, why don't you take something different?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And everyone is
very
not going to
smart.
like everything. And I try to make sure people are comfortable with that. It's okay to introduce your palate to something different. You never know. You may like it. And also, it's okay if you don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, trash is to your left. Or or it might be, you know what? I don't like this, but you know who would like this?
Yeah.
And why don't you, in their birthday coming up and the holiday something coming up, buy it for your friend that might be into whatever this is that it might not be for you, but it might be for somebody else. Absolutely. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So, as you've traveled to Black-owned tasting rooms across the country before launching your brand, what experience made you say, there's room for me here?
For one, I was in awe to know and learn that there were people that looked like me that were actually producing wine. When I saw that door open, I put my foot on the gas and I was like, this is absolutely for me. I was like, why don't I have my own? Like, I absolutely love, like I said, the journey that wine takes you on. And I was very inspired to know that there were African Americans in the industry, no matter how small the margin is. I was just so inspired and driven.
Mhm.
And I was like, every step of the way of creating my varietals and my branding, it was just to me like, once I produced that bottle, how proud that I would feel to be a part of that number. And I carry that with me every single day now. Like I actually have my own wine varietal.
Yes.
And I love it. I keep that, and I try to support wherever I go as many Black-owned businesses as I possibly can, because I always feel like a win for you is a win for me, and vice versa.
Well, that needs to be printed on a shirt. I agree. I definitely agree. Because, I think that we really do try to support each other,
Yeah,
especially in this sector of the craft spirits and beer and things like that. That's why I try to do the beer news, because I was like, I might not be in the area, but I know somebody that might be over there, and go and check them out, go and see how they're doing,
absolutely. That is
go
so
and
important
patronize
for us.
them.
That is
Mhm.
so important for us. And thank you so much for that. The space that you have created for the exposure, I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. So you were a pediatric nurse. Are you still a pediatric nurse?
Still a pediatric nurse, 21
Okay.
years.
Okay. So, what lessons as a pediatric nurse were you able to take and put into the House of Harvey?
I think just the communication skills that I've developed as being a nurse,
Mhm.
knowing that I want to naturally just be a nurturer, because that's what I do. I want to educate and I want to be proactive. And so I think a lot of that helps me be very personable with my customers when I'm doing tastings. I like to give people an experience. And not only do I do that in my role now as a pediatric manager, my goal is to strive to make sure that they have in a situation that is not ideal to be in a hospital. It's just not. But just trying to make sure that they have the best experience possible. And I do that as well when I travel and when I do the wine tastings, because people are taking time out of their lives to come and experience a product that I am producing. I want people
Mhm.
to know that in this moment, whatever this little bit of time that we have together, I want you to have an amazing experience.
That's awesome. That's good. That's awesome. So, as a pediatric manager,
Yeah.
so you are, taking care, having to take care of folks and watch folks.
Yep.
How were you able to gain your credential for your WSAT?
I actually traveled to Napa. You can
Excellent.
do it online, but when I saw the opportunity, because I had been to Napa like probably half a dozen times before I decided to produce my own wine. And so when I saw that you had the opportunity to actually, you can go to, from my research, you could either go to Napa, Tampa, or you could do it online. It was no question that I was going to Napa to get my certification. And so, as far removed as I have been from like a school setting, but to sit in that classroom amongst other people that I did not know at all and to
Mhm.
share that experience with them, I actually gained a very, very close friend in the industry just from taking that class. But I definitely feel like I could draw from some of my critical thinking skills and senses that I had developed as a nurse. I took that into the wet set certification class, and it definitely helped bring it all full circle for me.
How long is the process?
So I did a 1-day course
Okay.
just for my wet set certification level 1. It was just a 1-day course. And then after you do the learning and the sampling and the pairing and the tasting notes, you do take an exam. After the exam, I think we probably waited 6 to 8, maybe even 10 weeks, until we got our
Mm.
results back. It was a long
Mm.
process because I was told that internationally is where the exams are scored. So they had to send them
Mhm.
away and get the results back, but they send you a nice little certificate, letting you know that you do have the WSET certification.
Okay. Well, but I was thinking, oh, that's a long time.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
is. The
waiting on pins
results.
and needles to find out how you did.
And
Yeah.
hopefully they've improved the process. I think I've had my wet set for like 2 years. So
Mhm.
hopefully they've tried to improve the process as far as the results return time.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I
So,
was so excited to do it. And I'm definitely glad I do have that under my belt and I can add it to my portfolio.
absolutely. Very good. Yeah. Um, I was thinking that I was like, uh, because I've done like the beer certification, and it's like it's a longer process because it's I don't even want to go into it, but uh, but
Wow, I didn't know that.
I was thinking that it was maybe like I was like, oh, she took a week off. I'm thinking it was like a couple of maybe a week or a week and a half, but it was one day. It was that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
But with my nursing career, I'm very fortunate since I have been at that facility for 21 years. I'm able to make my own schedule, so it's very flexible, and it definitely allows me to be able to support my own business. So I'm thankful for that.
Okay. So as you were mentioning tasting notes, I was wondering, um, could you describe yourself uh, in tasting notes? How you see yourself?
Definitely, I have always felt my first love after my experience with ice wine was bubbles. I always feel like bubbles brings a sense of joy and celebration to any event that you're having. And that's how I look at myself.
Hmm.
Whatever event I'm going to be of support to anyone in any way, I want them to feel like it is always a celebration of life. So I would definitely describe myself as um, a prosecco champagne style person.
Okay. All right. Effervescence. Yes, I
Yes.
love that. So you said that your Prosecco and Pinot Grigio are described as straightforward and not complex.
Yes.
Um, do you think that philosophy also reflects you as well?
I definitely think it does. I
Okay.
am in a era of my life where I don't have room for chaos. I like things to be clear cut. I like to be organized. I like to have intention in the way that I move. And so I think that definitely helps set the tone for what what I've created and what I continue to create when it comes to my wine brand. I wanted it
Mhm.
to be easy and to introduce to people that are not sommeliers or wine enthusiasts. I want people to be able to explore something and not be afraid to approach it, and that was the goal that
Mhm.
I had in mind when I was creating my varietals.
Very good. I really do like that because I don't know I don't know what it is. Sometimes um, you come across people that have they put on airs as far as like the wine and make and try to make it be something that is really not supposed to be something that's supposed to be enjoyed
Yeah.
and not like, oh, I got to get out my thesaurus and try to figure out what I'm drinking or what it
Yes.
is that I'm doing with it, how I'm pairing it. And I really appreciate that you are taking that veil off of wine drinking to have people to be have something that is approachable,
Yes.
um, and just enjoy it, like you said, the experience.
Absolutely. I feel like some people try to make it very much like stiff, stuffy, snobby, and it shouldn't be that way. It
Yeah.
shouldn't. We are here to enjoy. We are here to celebrate. We want to explore this journey, no matter where the varietal is coming from. And so, as long as you're explaining the region and maybe some possible tasting notes, but it's okay to allow people to be adventurous in their own way. We don't have to make it
Mhm.
complicated.
Now, just I'm thinking about what you said to me earlier as far as your grapes. And so I guess I'll be technical because I'm just like I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you have your grapes shipped to you. Did I read somewhere that you have like your own person, like a grape distribution person
A
that brings you your grapes? And I'm
A
probably saying it
custom
wrong.
a custom grape crush process.
Yes.
So you can get someone to, depending on like their connections in the industry, you can source grapes from all over because, as you know, different regions grow different varietals, and some
Mhm.
regions grow a grape that you may not be able to get in another region. So just because I'm in the Midwest, that should not limit me to being able to explore wines from Italy. And that's what I love about the custom grape crush process. You can get grapes from Australia, Argentina, and I love that. There is a caveat to it as far as the TTB when you're creating labels and getting your certification. I think that
Okay.
would be at a later date and time as far as the explanation goes. So just
Mhm.
know that you can get grapes from all over, but you may not be able to call it the exact thing that it's called in that region.
Mhm.
And I can give you just a quick snippet. Prosecco, if you're not bottling it in Italy, you cannot use the name Prosecco. Hence is why mine's is sparkling wine.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can get the grapes brought over and you can do the blending here if you have the facility to do that. I
Mhm.
was blessed to be able to find both of those things, a custom grape crush process and a facility. And so I feel like my varietals are very unique and I absolutely love that.
Okay. And what is your ABV on your wines?
Both of them are 12%.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted people to feel very nice, but
Mhm.
still be responsible at the same time. I
Okay.
do feel like if you're drinking, you probably want to just to get a little bit of a nice buzz. And I think that that was an extremely sweet spot with the 12%.
Yeah. Very agreeable with that. Yeah, 12%. That'll get you where you need to go. Mhm. Definitely.
You feel really nice.
Yes. So, being a woman of color in the industry, how has it been as far as you navigating to bring the House of Harvey? Um, any challenges or something that a life lesson that you've learned that you could share with someone that may be starting out?
I will say, no matter where you are, go for what sets your soul on fire when it comes to creating whatever you want to create. There are so many barriers in this lifetime that if we keep trying to wait for a moment, it may not ever happen. You create that
Mm,
moment. And being Black in this industry is just like being Black in America. At every moment, it could be people that look like you and people that don't look like you. You're going to continue to try to tear you down, bring you down, create hurdles. You just keep jumping over them and
mhm.
keep jumping over them. And that's what I will continue to say. I feel like I have opened doors for myself that I didn't think that I would be able to, but I am also very respectful of the people that are here before me that created that path. They've navigated a way, right? They may have had to claw through, and now I am able to walk through because they clawed through and they created that space for me. But even with the space being created, there's still hurdles that you have to go through, but you keep pushing and you'll get there.
So, what was possibly your, I guess, most recent win that you had? What recent hurdle have you had to get over?
I would say I kept getting, I guess, feedback from just even friends and people that have come to different tastings, and they wanted me to do another varietal. And it's just like a lot of people think, oh, yeah, just make another one. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But what I will say is I am in the workings of producing my first red blend.
Okay.
Yes. And
Very
I am
nice.
extremely excited about that.
Very nice.
But
So
it's
tell
not
us.
easy.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine
Yeah.
that it would not the thinking about it, because I'm just thinking about as far as you getting the supply here, and then you're doing the blending. So when you're doing, like, just for one of the varietals that you have, what's the process, or how long does it take for you to decide, okay, I've tried this blend and this blend, and I think this is the one that I'm going to go with, where you kind of planted your flag? How long was that process?
I think for my first two varietals, it took me almost 3 years
Hmm.
um, to get the taste that I wanted with the ABV that I was trying to achieve. With the red blend, so far it's been a year of me
Mm,
tasting and mixing and just going around and trying all different types of reds and learning about where they're grown and where they come from and just trying to figure out what I want my blend to actually be. Then that's what I love about a red blend because I feel like you can be creative and you can be fun with it. You're not married to the name like if it was a Cab or a Merlot. And
right.
so that's what I am enjoying about the red blend, even though it has been the hardest for me to narrow down taste wise. But I think that's just a personal thing that I have going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the process for me has been less than 5 years, I would say. And a lot of people could probably do it quicker than that. But I know for me, being in the industry or the region that I'm in and doing my research with my first two varietals, at first I thought I would have to be in California making wine. And I was like, okay, that's just an extra hurdle for me. But when I learned about the custom grape crush process and the blending, I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually working. And I had a few tasting events to where I had people come out and taste and sample before I actually had a launch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know, I couldn't even fathom what the process, how long the process would be. So um that's really interesting as far as like, having to go back, like this is not it, this is not it, this is not it, this is
I
really
know.
close. I can
Yes.
just like waking up like Eureka, I think I got it. Thinking
Mhm.
about that, I could just imagine how that process was daunting for you.
Yeah.
Um, so wine is deeply tied into storytelling. So if your journey was poured into a glass, what I guess what variety will it be, and what will be the tasting notes of the story of your journey so far?
I think I could only describe the journey for me. It would still be a sparkling.
Mhm.
When you pour it in, you are watching it transform, right? You see sometimes as it's being poured in, you could see a mixture of things. You can see the bubbles. You can see it swirling. You can see it creating like a formation. But as it's sitting and it becomes still, if you're looking in that glass, you still see those bubbles rising. And I feel like that is where I am at in every phase of my life. Even when it's a calm moment for me, I am still trying to rise above and be my better self in every situation.
Okay.
I think wine in general, where it starts from a grape. It starts in the ground. You have to grow, you have to bloom, you have to transform. And I do feel like that is what we should be doing in our lives. If you're not growing, you're stagnant, and that's not where you want to be.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So thinking about wine and thinking about food because it's almost dinner time, past dinner time for me.
Oh, it is, yes.
What is your favorite thing that you like to pair with your wine as far as meals?
I love a good charcuterie with both of them. With the
Mhm.
Pinot Grigio, besides charcuterie, absolutely love, salmon or a baked fish dish.
Okay.
Any salad, I think it's like top tier, takes it up a notch. With the
Mhm.
sparkling shrimp and grits, any type of fried chicken to me elevates it. And just recently, what I have experienced that I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. But jerk chicken with my sparkling,
Okay.
it is so good. I was like, oh, this is amazing.
It's like, uh, I didn't do so bad. I didn't do bad at all. Pat myself on the back. This is what it is right here. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, jerk chicken sounds great.
I was like, I just I was told that anything on the menu would possibly go with the prosecco, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a great thing. And so once I tried it, I'm like, this is really good, and it really was.
Hmm. So, thinking about the wine, and you're in Chicago right now. So, how's distribution going? Are you just doing it in Chicago, or are you branching out? How's that going?
So I do have a distributor here in Illinois, and then for the other states, I am doing self distribution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
still learning a lot about that process, but so far, as far as with me, I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can throughout the journey. I'm not in a race. So as I'm growing and learning, I'm taking as much as I can with me. And so, yeah, just having a distributor in Illinois for me is great. I do
Mhm.
love that closeness. I love that personalized niche that I feel by having them here and being exposed to places here in my home. I love that, but also knowing that with the self distribution that they now are allowing winemakers to have, and I can only speak to winemakers. I'm not sure about other spirit brands, but I can very much appreciate that as well. That I am able to travel to the West Coast and potentially work deals out through my self distribution license.
Awesome. That sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but yeah, it's I think it's really even you just being in Illinois and as massive as Chicago is and the surrounding area, um, that's that's a good little spot right there.
It's
That's
huge, and
yeah,
it's a lot
yeah.
of barriers. I'm still here. I just want to turn a light on if you don't mind, but
Okay,
I'm still
no
here.
problem. Yeah, I can see that that could be a lot being in Chicago, in those surrounding areas. But that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel like if you can get connected here with, there's a small community, even though this is an extremely big city, it is a small community of African American wine and spirit makers. And if you can get connected with that community, I definitely think for the most part, we do very well with supporting each other.
Hmm. Hmm. So thinking about where you are now, if we dream a little bit, like 5 years from now, where would you like to see the House of Harvey um, and establishing of the legacy? What would you want it to be?
I would love to see the House of Harvey in some of my favorite hotels, airports, airlines. I am a huge traveler, so I would love to see that.
Hmm.
Of course, if it's on shelves, that's great, but the the distribution contract would have to be feasible for me. Just learning from others and being observant, those situations can become very stressful. And so I am praying that God continues to guide my journey. And if that's not for me, it's not for me. I don't want to go
Hmm.
into a situation where I am stressed every day because my wine is on a shelf in a store.
Hmm. Hmm.
But if I had a like a dream place where the House of Harvey would be in 5 years, it would be in a few hotels, airports, and on my favorite airline.
Well,
I won't
it's
give them a plug right now.
right. That's fine because they haven't paid for it, so they can't get it.
Right.
But definitely seeing that was Denord based out of New Orleans in Minnesota. He has his brand on the airline, so it is very, very much feasible. Um, but I do agree with you. I was seeing a post today where this gentleman he was talking about people pushing you to get your product on shelves,
Mm.
and what he's like, you're pushing it to get on the shelf, and then the person that pushed it on the shelf, they got their money and they're gone. They're not doing anything to make sure that it gets off of the shelf. Then the shelf is, of course, it's real estate, so depending on where where you have the money to put it on the middle shelf or the bottom shelf. But after you have pushed yourself to get it to that place, and then it just collects dust, and no one is really fine tuning to see where your product is, because you're just one of 300 that he was pushing.
Yep.
So I
It's
definitely,
very
yeah,
complex. It
yeah.
is.
Distribution is not for the faint of heart,
Oh,
and
no.
it's definitely, like, I think that we are finding out that have just pushing it there is not always the move. It's not the strategic move.
And I'm thankful for people that have been transparent in those situations.
Mhm.
And yeah, if it happens for me, I want it to be organically and it'll be a place where I can sustain it. So I'm just not, running to like say, hey, yeah, it's on the shelf, but then calling and texting people every day, like, can you go buy it off the shelf?
Right. All right. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything, especially learning more about the House of Harvey, and how you have become this this epic winemaker, and really just honing into that first that first love from travel, which is one
Yeah.
of my favorite things to travel. But finding that, and then just falling in love with wine and bringing it home and making it accessible, approachable, and
Yes.
delicious. That's amazing. So that's amazing and wonderful. I'm gonna make sure, I have a friend that's coming to Chicago. I want to make sure that and she's a wine drinker, make sure she gets some House of Harvey when she's
Yes.
down there. And then are you a part of, will you be doing the Clink Festival at all this?
Yeah,
Okay.
this will be my
Okay.
3rd year. I've done it the
Okay.
last 2 years. And I saw
Okay.
that you were advertising that, and I was like, "Okay, Chicago." But yes, I will, I'll be there.
Okay, so I wasn't lying when I was saying about the food and everything, because I had her on the show probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just like, I'm not traveling this year, but next year that's on my list to come to
Okay.
go to
Yeah,
go and check out the festival. So yeah, okay, so that's awesome. But thank you so
absolutely.
much. And thank you, everyone who joined us for Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on wine.
Love
And
it.
I just want to thank y'all so much. And I think um, I have a busy week. So tomorrow I'm going to go live tomorrow, and Saturday I'm going live tomorrow, because I just had to fit extra people in for May for whatever reason. But y'all will be pleased. It's very interesting people that I'm going to be talking to. So I want to say good night and thank y'all so much.